All right, so let's make a formal introduction for our listeners. Good morning. Well, good afternoon for you, Frank. My name is Claudio, and I'm calling you from Washington, D.C. From the studios in Fairfax City. We're very humble and grateful that Frank Fiedler accepted our invitation to the show. Frank, welcome to the show.
Yeah. Okay, nice to meet you.
Same here, Frank. Where are you? I know that you end up going to German Film and Television Academy in Berlin, but were you born like in a musical family? I mean, were you playing
No.
guitar, piano lesson, or anything like that when you were a little kid?
No, my father was the master of fine bakery.
Yeah.
And had a shop, a baker shop in Kiel in North Germany.
Yeah.
There's this harbor at Baltic Sea, big harbor, Kiel. And not very music or musical, or what is it called? I don't know. Not very music. But nice people, I mean.
Yeah.
And this came later with Sidney Bechet. Do you know the name? There was the first jazz record I was 12 or 13 years old.
Yeah.
And that came from Paris. And this jazz inspired me. But 2 years later, I came to Mozart with Jupiter Symphony and things like this. And so it worked out to more come to the music things and to the picture things. I mean, my father, he had in the war, he was in the Mediterranean Sea, Sicily and Crete and things like this. And he had a little 8mm film camera.
Oh.
And made a lot of movies, what we saw as we grew up. I mean, I'm born 55, the darkest year of Germany. And then when I was 3 or 4 years old, I saw the first movies, you know, from my father. And that may influence things also, you know, for sure. And as a little child, I had this film stripes in my hand and saw the faces of the pictures. And it was fascinating for me until now.
Wow. Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, crazy. Now it's electronic. Huh?
Yeah. What kind of music were you listening when you were in high school? In German, they call it gymnasium.
Well, how they call it?
Gymnasium, the high school in Germany.
Yeah.
What kind of music were you listening at the time?
Listening that time.
Yeah, what music was appealing for you?
What I told,
yeah,
the early times, and then beginning of the 60s, suddenly there was a called Star Club in Kiel. And there the British, especially the British pop music came over. About the kind of tougher stuff, you know, rock and roll, not rock and roll, it was rock, but blues rock.
Yeah.
Like the early Beatles and things like this. And there, I think it was 64 or 65, came Jimi Hendrix was there on stage before he got famous. And he also took his guitar and smashed it and lighted a fire on it and things like this, you know. But we were like 18 years old or so, and wow, we looked at it, crazy stuff, crazy music. And then the Beatles came up, the Stones came up, the Doors came up, all the stuff, Steam Hammer, and Ainsley Dunbar. I loved Ainsley Dunbar. the early recordings, Mayan, all the people, and then the American music as well. But we were always in that times spread it out our senses, African music, Asian music. And you can hear it when you go through the earlier records of Popol Vuh, the influence of those instruments, you know, from Asia or from Africa, the drums, hand drums and things like this, and tambura, flutes, things like this. And it grew and grew.
Yeah. Why did you decided to go to the cinema school? I think you graduated from the German Film and Television Academy in Berlin, right?
Yeah.
You always wanted to do that?
Yeah. No, not always. When I was younger, I was influenced by the older, you know.
Yeah.
I had to get to free myself a little bit. I learned at Siemens here in Kiel, kind of workshop for, what is it called in English? Lehrlinge, also when you learn a really professional job, you know, in electronics and things like that. And I learned to build telephone networks, but at Siemens, the first years. And of course, I was a little forced from older ones to get an engineer.
Yeah.
But that wasn't my way. And then I saw, okay, the Film Academy opened, and I had a look at it, and it was very difficult to get in there. You know, it was a 1 week examination, was kind of hard, but then I got it, came in and finished it.
That's pretty good. And then at the time, what kind of when did you meet Florian?
We met a little later, 69, I think. I met Florian in late summertime. There was, interestingly, and when I was the first year I was at the Film Academy in Berlin,
yeah,
there was a woman suddenly in our workshop and asked for, especially came to me and asked me for camera work.
Yeah,
we wasn't allowed to do this, you know. We were students, and but it was too good to do that, and I did it. And there was a portrait of Pasolini in Italy we made there.
Yeah, wow.
With Karin Ehret was the director. And about her influences, I met Florian. They were kind of friends, and he was there in her flat, and then we met there.
Yeah, wow. Do you
and where immediately we came to the Popol Vuh, to that old Spanish text, you know.
Yeah.
The original text.
But you knew
was an English translation and a German translation.
Oh, the Popol Vuh book, the book, yeah.
From the book of the Quiche Indians.
The Quiche, yes. Yeah. And who was reading that? You were reading, or Florian?
Yeah, we had the crazy thing was that we independently from each other read this book and came together about discussing about what they telling us there, you know.
Yeah.
Was kind of, I mean, Affenstunde is so much is a part of Abe's Hour is the translation, the direct translation. and it's a part of this myth, of this evolving myth of the Quiche Indian culture of very early former times. I have a new translation now from it, but I hadn't the time to read it till now, but I will do.
It's a new, you say it's a new book that came out? Yeah.
Yeah, it's a new, very new, scientific, motivated translation and the newest things about the language and things like this.
Oh, I see.
And they found, I think they found some, what was it, like rolls, like pergaments or so, where with original Indian language signs and glyphs. And because what we had was the Spanish translation of a monk from, I don't know, 1700 or so, around this time. He asked those people and let them tell the story, the shamanic people who know the old heritage. And he wrote it down, and from this, they in the 20s or so, they made a German translation and an English translation.
Yeah.
Who was his name? Saragun was one of those monks. They were kind of people, they were a little more friendly to the Indian people there in South America, you know.
Yeah.
There was another side too.
Yeah. And then, so you were reading the book, Florian was reading the book, and then after that, I think Holger came into the picture. How Holger get connected with you guys?
Holger, that was from the scene in Munich here. This uprising, you know, suddenly what also happened here in Germany, the hippie time, the big music movement, and the movie movement itself, yeah, too, was kind of a new wave of all those medias. And there Holger was flying around, you know, and also we met him, and so we came together about talking together, drinking together, running together, playing together, especially.
That was in 1969, right? Yeah.
Yeah, we started in later 69, yeah.
And then, so you met Florian, you went to his flat, and you talk a lot about pool, a lot of the book, and then eventually you decided let's form a group and call it Popol Vuh. That was the idea.
It wasn't a real group in that sense.
Yeah,
I mean, we weren't a kind of rock and roll boys or something like this. It was more a project, I would say.
And then, how long after that? Because you were flying at the time all over the world with the film school and doing different projects, right? So how?
Yeah, also in Colombia.
you were in Colombia, in Sweden, USA, Nepal, Tibet, Greece, Spain. You were everywhere.
Yeah, kind of lot of, not in Eastern Asia. I never got this space. But Nepal was the most east part I experienced. Crazy. When you see those movie stuff, this movie stuff I work with now, this is like you are on another planet, you know. This is kind of crazy. What a city like Kathmandu, looked like 94.
Yeah.
I was kind of surprised too. What I did a lot of projects in between, and then I came back to this old material. Fortunately, I had transferred it from this old analog cassettes to digital cassettes.
Yeah.
And so there was a kind of original quality, kind of good. And but now today you have possibilities to fix it up, you know, making it a little. It's some programs. It's not making it sharper, the pictures. It's making them deeper and more details.
I see.
That's crazy. AI
Yeah.
programs.
Yeah.
Funny. I was kind of surprised, I have to say.
Did you like Colombia?
What?
Colombia. Did you like Colombia?
Yeah, in a way, yeah. Well, kind of a little stressy.
Yeah.
So we were at Cartagena,
Yeah.
at the Caribbean Sea there.
Yeah.
And what is the military people, they came to the nightclubs there and controlled us suddenly, you know. And I mean, some of us, they had a little box with the grass also.
Yeah.
Oh, it was kind of difficult. But they never catch us. And so, and we made a traveling down the coast to Venezuela. And there's a part of Colombia that's a kind of desert. We made some shooting there. And when we drove back, I mean, there was a real adventure. In the night, this roads, and then a bearing of the old Chevy broke in the middle of the night. And we had to go to what is it, the city, bigger city, Barranquilla.
Barranquilla, yeah.
Barranquilla, and to the edge of Barranquilla, there was a workshop. There was light, some people, and we we came with our old Chevy there that played a role in the movie, and they fixed it in 1 hour.
Wow. Very good.
It was crazy. We were very grateful.
Yeah, absolutely.
But in the night, there were on the street and on the road there, close to this, what is this mountain massif? The famous name in the way. Good grass came from there. There were Indians running down the road in the night with a Kalashnikov on the back. And we drove by sideways, Jum. I mean, nothing happened.
Yeah.
It was okay in a way, but a little irritation.
Yeah, I know. So Florian was a very talented pianist.
Yeah.
He won several classic competition, right? Classic music competition. He
was
an unbelievable pianist.
His education was very good, total classic.
But why he ended up? What happened that he ended up stopping that career?
Don't ask me. I don't know really. I think he was also very inspired from this new wave of music that came up over the 60s around the world. And this time, this classic education, and when you have to the thing, your goal, what to get to the peak of it, it was a kind of too hard. And so what we are searching for, I mean, when we were kind of hippie-minded, you know, in a way. Okay, with a good taste and everything, but that was a new world, and we wanted to be part of this new, younger world.
Yeah, and then I think when at the time when when you met Florian, he got a hold of the Moog synthesizer in Germany, right?
Oh yeah, the Moog 3.
Yeah, and how because there were only, I think, only a couple in Germany, right?
This time there were 2 in Germany, and the other one was in the house beside Florian's house.
How?
Was his name Schöner? No, what was his name? He has also a farmhouse outside of Munich, and
Yeah.
Florian too, with his wife. And they lived close together. And there Florian saw this machine, and he thought, oh, I also have to have one to start in this new world.
But because it was very expensive, right?
For this times it was expensive, especially here in Germany. But I mean, they had the money. What was it? 30,000 marks or so. I don't know exactly. But today it would be $100,000 or so.
Yeah, expensive, you know.
Yeah. It was kind of really expensive for these times.
Yeah.
But
So
Florian himself, he hadn't no money. Yeah. I mean, he never had a lot of money. Sometimes a little more. But other people around him were kind of rich.
Yeah. And then
And we got the money.
But how? So he was living like in a farm outside Munich, right?
Yeah, and also in Munich.
And then, so his neighbor had another one?
Eberhard Schöner was the name. He's a famous composer in Europe here. Eberhard Schöner.
I need to look it up.
Yeah. There's a kind of crazy guy too. And he bought it first because he was more classic in the classic scene and made a lot of money there with compositions and things like this, and media events, and especially later he made some big media events where he played over whole landscapes, like 2 square kilometers or something like that, 1 square mile or so, with light and big PAs and projections and things like this, and also live musicians. And run worldwide, I think, was a thing that they broadcasted around the world in these times. It was in the 80s, end of the 80s, things like this, in the 90s maybe. I don't know exactly. It was a kind of, I wasn't so involved in this.
Yeah.
But Eberhard Schöner, he was the first who had the Moog 3. This 4 black boxes with a keyboard.
It didn't have like a manual, right, to read how to use it, right?
Oh no, it was a kind of explaining. Because you picked it together with cables, the modules,
Yeah.
modules.
Module. Yeah.
And so they were named, you know, oscillator 1, oscillator 2, and you stuck in a cable, plugged in, and went to the filter bank or something like this, and so on and so on and so on. We made complicated. We worked together, Florian and me, at this machine for 2 years or so. And well, we were plugging, and making sounds. Later, we got a little crazy about it because there was a crazy machine. I mean, you could really damage your hearing, your ears.
Really?
Yeah. It was this had a kind of a ribbon band and a little upside of the keyboard. And when you rubbed left, right, suddenly the machine went up to the fifth or so, or the fourth, what is it called? Octave.
Octave, yeah.
Oh, and there was some kind of heavy sound suddenly in the room, and we pulled the plug, you know, to get rid of this sound. And you had to, it was not programmable at this, like it's you can do it today.
Yeah.
Not really programmable. You always, every day you had to make a new conditioning of the plug things you made with the cables.
Wow, amazing. And
And
then,
but I mean, it was also very inspiring.
yeah. And then after, so this is feel free, and this is the first album that you guys put together, right?
Right.
And also, who was Bettina? Bettina is right here.
No. This was a girl. She lived there in this farmhouse too. It was very big house, and an old bishop sit in from where Gottlieb Lehndorf was the owner, kind of famous here in Germany, the Lehndorfs.
Yeah.
And they rented, they rented, they vermieten. Anyway, we had 2 rooms there, and there lived other people too.
Yeah.
And this girl was one of those people also living there.
He wasn't.
And the other guy is Holger Trülzsch.
This guy. Yeah.
This guy at the left,
Yeah,
right.
This is a beautiful picture.
Yeah. This is Baumburg. This is a Baroque church close to this place where we lived there at the country, kind of 20 kilometers or so.
Yeah, and that's the picture of the Moog, right? That's the one.
Yeah. That's a Moog 3.
Wow, amazing, man.
Yeah, I mean, there's also today this unbeatable, this machine.
Really?
And they made a new edition of it today, and you can buy it for $40,000 or so dollars. And this is even finer than the old one, but the same systematic. Also with the plug cables and things like this. And it's very nice to work with it. You are very open in the structure.
I think Bettina did the cover design, the production, and you were with the synthesizer mixdown, and I think Bettina was doing the tablas, right?
I don't know what it really was. Maybe, just we mixed it often we mixed it together. Some did this. We also had microphones there in this the rooms where we lived there.
Yeah.
And we had 2 Revox machines with 36 centimeters per second, a studio norm, and we had two big amplifiers and speakers and things like this. It was important for the Moog 3, you know, to have a good sound and fill the room, but also make tapes from it, record it spontaneously in the night when we came up, sometimes in the morning.
Really?
Yeah, that was also kind of first time you could do it, because in the years before, the decade before, that was only reachable in big studios, you know, and cost a lot of money. And suddenly there were those machines you could take to your home and also have studio quality. And okay, the finish we always did in a professional studio.
Yeah. And then what was the recorder? Was the big tapes, or was in cassette at the time?
No, it was they used in the studios. The first Afterstunde we made,
Yeah.
there only were 8-track machines.
8-track machine. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. There was before the 24-track machines came.
Yeah.
It was 2 to 3 years later. Suddenly there were 24-track machines.
Yeah.
It was this time where it broke up to a more modern technology. But the very first Afterstunde is made on a 8-track, and it was, I think it was 1-inch tape. And I mean the final mix down was on 18th inch, the small tape, stereo.
Yeah. Are the original recording still? Who has that? The original tape. Who are they still around or no?
A lot of stuff we have, yeah.
The master.
But we went to a studio. I have a machine here, an old machine,
yeah.
And things like this. We did it several times and digitized it.
Yeah.
To modern standards, and from this we are working.
Yeah, I got it.
Not from the old tapes. The old tape, I did it to metal boxes, like Faraday's cages, you know.
Yeah.
Faraday's cages. To maybe one has to go back with an old machine and play with it, but not now. We have all the stuff digitized. I have it here in my machine, extra hard disk, some extra hard disk, and Johannes also. Okay, you have to save it in a way, you know, and you have to have it on different hard disks and things like this. You know the business.
Yeah, Johannes is not a musician, right? No, he's not.
What is it?
Johannes.
What is with Johannes?
Is he a musician too? No. He studied music?
No, he is curator for art.
Oh.
This is his main work.
Main job, right? Yeah.
Main job. He made exhibitions for modern art, and very high. He made it in Los Angeles. He made it in New York, and London, Paris, and now he is doing it in Munich and the main thing, Berlin.
In Berlin, yeah. And what would when you guys, you know, end up releasing, of course, not about the tape, how was the market, the people, the audience? People like that? It was very strange, very weird type of music too.
Yeah, I mean,
1970, right?
We never were at a stage. We weren't a live act. It was a project, and but it was a kind of this Affenstunde had a kind of really lot of buyings, well, hits like the lot people say today.
Yeah.
There's just a question about the fame of Popol Vuh. Yeah, I mean, maybe the Italians and the French people liked it more than the German people.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. In Italy, it's crazy. When we came to Italy, Florian and I, we did something working there with Popol Vuh. And I mean, they carried us on their hands, you know. We were it was a big well, adoration, or what is it?
Yeah, yeah, correct.
Yeah, Verehrung.
There are no many live recording of Popol Vuh, right?
Yeah, that was kind of rare.
Very rare, yeah.
Like
I think I saw only twice in YouTube,
yeah,
somewhere.
With Danny and another guy from Amandieu, they had a
yeah.
They had a gig, yeah, in Milano, I think, and here in Munich they had something. Well, Chris Carrer, he played with Florian and Danny at one cultural house here in Munich. No, they had two gigs here at audience, but usually we were home and studio workers, you know, and traveling workers.
But so a year later, the second album came out, I think, in the Garden Pharaohs. In the Garden of the Pharaohs.
Garden of Pharaoh, yeah.
Yeah. I think it was a year later. And
yeah,
you were involved with Holger and Frank, and then Fritz did the album cover. Well, and Steven Meltzer did the photography. Huh?
There was there was this first formation. Holger Trülzsch, Florian Fricke, Frank Fiedler.
Yeah.
We made these two records, and then the stuff changed.
What did? Yeah, I don't have that. What happened? Why was the change?
Oh, was the evolution of sound. And Florian, he went back more again to analog instruments. The phase with Moog 3 was finished in a way. We came back, we came some years, 2, 3, 4 years later, we came back, and for half a year or so, we used the machine again for some moods we wanted to have. But that was another thing. It was never used in the music again in that style. Also, except for the film musics for Herzog. There we used the Moog again in the, what was it, 74 or so.
Yeah. So he went back to the analog way of doing things, right?
Yeah, that was Florian. I mean, I can understand when you are after 2 years, that was okay. It was enough. The Moog was finished. We had it through.
Yeah, and then you were at the time you were traveling for
I made movies,
photography, and as filming. You were going to a lot of different countries at the time. So you were in Germany and then disappear for 2 months, 3 months, and then come back to right?
Mainly United States at this time, but I mean mainly in Germany. but on very different locations and very different expectations also for what people wanted to do. It was from feature movies to TV serial stuff. I did everything because I wanted to get some money.
Yeah.
And I mean, okay, I learned a lot of people, a lot about the business, making movies. And then there was 75 or so, like the first time I made a movie in Colombia and in New York.
Yeah.
We made with Al Hansen. You know, have you heard about Al Hansen?
No.
Al Hansen or Hansen, I don't know. He is a famous guy from the Andy Warhol scene and so on, and New York.
Wow.
And the director of that movie we made in Colombia and in New York, he hired Al Hansen. he traveled with us. Crazy guy. Well, kind of bad movie. a real B movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then in 72, Oceana Mantra. That's a very good album.
That's the third record.
The third album, right? Yeah.
Yeah. There's a 72, yeah?
Yeah, 1972. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I got a job with cinema.
Yeah.
And went away. The first 2 months or so, I worked with Florian at this, and then I had to go because I was not playing an instrument or so there. We had this connection. Okay, one thing was about the name and the book of Popol Vuh, and one thing was about the Moog 3, you know, about the technology of this new instrument. There we had our connection, Florian and I. And later we came together about friendship and our soulmate, what is it called? Soulmateship. Our thoughts about the world and the politics and all things where we agreed in a way.
And then from that particular album, there are new musicians. There was Conny Veit, Robert.
Conny Veit, yeah. This crazy guitarist. He was. I had a fine feeling for great riffs and Florian's sound bed, you know, and the piano lines, and he was kind of ideal. What Conny did. But I wasn't that close at that time. I met all those people, but I wasn't so involved because I really did a lot of film work in this time.
Yeah, and then there is Robert Eliscu, played the oboe.
Yeah, this was the guy, the name I was looking for. Robert Eliscu. He's dead too now. Yeah, wow. An accident and something, I don't know.
And Klaus Wiese played the tambura.
Yeah, also dead.
Man, everybody's dead.
We're all getting older and older.
I'm getting old too.
Yeah, we all. It looks like an old rule, yeah. Old law of the nature that we getting older.
Yeah. So you were not involved with the music that much, but you still kept the friendship with the Florian.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. I mean, later we worked on Popol Vuh projects, a lot of them.
Yeah.
It's what was it? Altogether 10, 12 records.
Yeah.
And 2 movies.
Yeah.
And things like this.
How is to work with? Feel free to describe Florian as a person. How it was complicated, was easy to get along, a lot of fight, discussions.
In a way, we had the same caliber.
Oh, got it. Yeah.
And so I had you have some credit then, you know, and you're not that one has to pay or so. Well, that was okay. We both were not without complications. And sometimes, but I think it's completely normal that when you go into a complex work, that sometimes there are points where it's cracking a little bit and it's rubbing and well, not so nice. But usually we came together in a good way, I must say. We were kind of very reasonable.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Then in '73, is this album came about.
Yeah.
And I really like it. I like the pictures and everything. And
for this, we started with Keller tapes.
Really?
Yeah. I got a little money, and I bought a Sony 4-track for it, and a mix box, 6 channels, stereo. The first time you can buy things like this was a little expensive in these times, but it was reachable. And with this 4-track machine, we made in the cellar of Florian's house, down there under earth, there was the Bechstein piano. And there we made the first tracks of it. And then we went to the studio with these tracks. And then they transferred it to the 24-track machine.
Wow.
And then I had a job for making movies again and went out of the studio work with Florian. We met later then for the end mixing, I think. And there are a lot of singing Florian did.
Yeah.
And this he did in West Germany, I think, in the Dieter Dirks studio, things like that. I don't know the real name of the studio. And some of the end mixing was done in Bavaria studio, I think, here in Munich. But I cannot say it exactly.
And Danny got involved with that. Daniel was the first time that he got involved with that album, right? Yeah.
Yeah. They shared first time. They shared the guitar playing with Veit first. I mean, with Veit. There was a name. No. Conny Veit.
Conny was playing.
Conny also did some guitars on this record, and then he came to it. But I wasn't that involved that I really can tell stories about it. You know?
Yeah, Danny was playing drums at the time and percussion.
Maybe the first time, and then he started also to play guitar.
Yeah.
But he played guitar before, I mean, at Amondul or so. I don't know.
Amondul, yeah. So you got a new job with the film, and you disappear, come back, get a new job, and then disappear. You were going. Yeah. The next one that I have is I can't remember. Yeah, Danny here. This This is from obviously 1974 now.
Yeah.
I don't know how to pronounce it. Huh?
This is, what is it? Einziger Siebenjäger. Yeah. I was, sometimes I met the people sitting around with them in the studio, but I was more, for Florian, it was kind of important to have somebody close to him at this working times that was a little bit intellectually or so on the eye height, the same.
Yeah.
And like we say in Germany, Augenhöhe, the same eye height. And so you can imagine, that when somebody is it's kind of this special work, he needs somebody close to him to talk with, to check, to hear in the evening, to hear the what is it called? The Probe, die Probebänder, from the day what you did in the studio, they copied it to a little cassette and we took it to our home and then we heard it through and 10 times or so, and drinking wine. And then we had the inspiration for the next day. And for this, Florian needed me.
Yeah. Because he wanted to make sure that that you can see eye to eye, right? And that the quality was good. A different, independent opinion,
Yeah, in a way,
to make sure the quality was good and
when you're very close to your own composition work, sometimes you're losing
absolutely
the measure of how it's going to an audience and things like this. Always it's good to have some body or more other people. I mean, was every time when we finished a recording in the studio, we first went to our people and showed it. So made a little event and played the music to have a response. This is, I think it's normal for a lot of people making music. Also with the movie business, sneak previews.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Where were you at the time traveling? I mean, was Popol Vuh popular or outside Germany? Like you say, Italy and where people...
France.
In France?
Yeah. That corresponded, I mean, I think also with the Werner Herzog movies and the Popol Vuh sounds in it.
Yeah.
And that worked together. And so the vinyls came in and the movies came in and they loved it. Also in Great Britain and at the East Coast in the United States. And later when I lived in Los Angeles for kind of half a year, and also there they knew Popol Vuh.
Really?
Yeah. There was I mean, special people from the business, from the media,
right?
Not in what's those workers or so much. They had other professions. But there in Hollywood, well, I met a lot of people that knew, and what was it called? There was a big record store and Wilshire Boulevard, and he said, no, record tower also. And there was a display with Popol Vuh recordings.
Wow.
well, 6, 7 different ones, vinyls, and upcoming CDs.
The next one, Aguirre.
There's a movie
Yeah.
music.
Yeah, 1970. We're not talking about 1976.
76.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why they? So
There I was on the other side of the earth.
where were you at the time?
Yeah, 76. I don't know. I think I made. My main business was camera for TV series
At the
in this
time, yeah.
and it was just, it's eating you up, you know. You have no time for other stuff.
Aguirre obviously is a word in Spanish. Why they
Aguirre is a person.
yeah, but that exists in.
It's a historical person.
That's what they
Don't ask me.
That's what they end up calling that Aguirre.
For this, you have to ask Werner Herzog.
Yeah, we're talking about that was, I think I was of course what that's used for the soundtrack to Werner Herzog, right? The Aguirre, the Wrath of God, right?
Yeah. By the way, one of the best compositions Florian did, and other as movie music.
Yeah, of course.
Soundtrack, because when this little army coming down the hills there in the jungle, and this crazy sound is leading them down and things like this, kind of very emotional pictures.
Oh, yeah, I have seen
Deep
several of the Werner Herzog movies, and of course that was the first one that you can see the music from Popol Vuh very, very good movie. Yeah,
Herzog he always was excited about Florian's compositions, and he really liked it.
Yeah, there was another person involved also in the record called in the vocal, Djong Yun.
Yeah. She's a Korean girl. But her father was a famous composer from Korea and Southern Korea, and she studied, I think, in the music academy in Munich. Florian met her there, things like this. I'm not sure. But then she came to Popol Vuh, and she made different records with Popol Vuh.
Yeah.
3 or so. And some singles too.
And then with that, right, obviously with Aguirre, right, now Werner Herzog was well known at the time, and people that used to go and see his movies, right, they started appreciating Popol Vuh. Man, this music is very good. Who are the Popol Vuh? And Popol Vuh, then became a lot more popular all over the world.
Yeah, for sure. That helped. That's a different business. Huh? Music scores, like Zimmer did also for the big movies. That makes people like him very famous in a way, and also Florian. I mean, Florian got in contact with big producers in this time after the Herzog music, but unfortunately, this one guy, what was his name? He came from Italy, but he produced in the United States, I think. Unfortunately, he crashed down with a plane and died in a plane crash. And then there was that ripped the whole thing away from Florian, and he just started to make composition for a big movie of this guy.
Wow.
And then suddenly it was over.
Wow. So.
Not kind of heavy. Yeah.
And then you were going back and forth, right? You used to, you were living in Germany, and then they will call you production in a different country. You will go somewhere else. You will go somewhere else, and then come back, right?
Yeah, but I more and more realized that I want to do my own stuff, my own movies.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
And so I started with, also in Nepal, I made my first own movie. I mean, besides little movies I did at the Film Academy or little handworks, like we call it, like 5-minute movies or so. I did a lot, but the first longer movie that I also sold to TV was about the Wheel of Life, and we called it the Wheel of Recurrence. It is a motive in front of the monasteries in Tibet and in Nepal, northern Nepal, from the Buddhistic people. And it is a kind of for me, it was fascinating, this motive, because it's describing the whole life of man, and in a crazy way. And I found a picture of it from the 19th century that I used as a ground picture. And then we made this traveling with a 60mm camera and collected pictures for this from the reality, And from this, I created this movie. I sold it, not bad.
Really?
Yeah, for 3 TV broadcastings. 3 times it ran here, and BR is the name of the Bayerischer Rundfunk, Bavarian broadcast. Yeah, they liked it.
That's pretty good.
And then I restored it now. Last year, I restored the whole movie, brought it to a sharper vision, new digitizing with modern machines, the old 60mm material.
Yeah.
And also made the sound new, and made an English version from it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But I'm it's lying around here. I hadn't the time because I went into the new stuff here with the Kailash, and I wasn't working with it to sell it or so, But it's everything has its time. I think when I want to come out with this movie, especially with the Kailash movie with Florian, and because it's more massive, it's coming more to the point. Maybe in this thing, I will also have a look to my other movies.
Is the movie that you're referring about, the Florian, is it done? It finished or no?
Yeah. I think it's done now.
And it's going to be like a documentary, or?
It's a dream. It's more, but sometimes it looks like a documentary, and then I don't know. I mean, everybody is different, but I think this is too crazy what you see there. In central Tibet, around the Kailash, there's this far, far away. But it's one of the oldest way tracks of pilgrimage mankind has. It's like 6,000 years old or so, and it's kind of very intriguing or so. I don't know how to say it. When you were running around there with a little camera and meeting the people around there and come to the monasteries, and it was in another time, another planet.
Absolutely, yeah, another world altogether.
Yeah, completely. When I see it today, and I also took a second title, Popol Vuh Expedition into Another Time.
That's a good name.
No, yeah, this is the second title.
Oh.
Also, this is Kailash,
yeah,
and then Stony Paths. Popol Vuh Expedition into Another Time.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Well, as far as it was very stony, those ways we walked, you know, it's only stones. It's everything is stone. Because there's sometimes there's a little blossom of a little plant between, but it's 5,000 meters high, you know, 3 miles or 2.5 miles high. And there's nothing is growing there. Or sometimes there's something between the stones, some little plants are growing. And the people are kind of equally crazy, like in this height, you know, that's just too much. The sky, the nature, crazy.
Do you know how Florian and Bernard Herzog meet? How they got to know one another?
Oh, they know from school, I think. When they were 14, 15, they went together at the same school or maybe in the same classroom. I don't know.
Really?
But I know that they know each other from the school, and they started to make movies together. And there were some unfortunate accidents that they split it, made different things then. But they started to make a movie together, a little short movie and things like this. They were 17 years old. But it ended, and then Florian finished his study at the music academy, and I don't know what he did then. He jobbed around. He was a critic in at the newspaper here at the Süddeutsche. This is the biggest newspaper here in Munich.
Yeah.
Kind of a little, in these times it was a little conservative. Today it's more left, like everything. And he was a music critic. Is it right?
Yeah, it's correct. Yeah, it's correct. Music critic. Yeah.
Also for the Zurich. What is it in English? Zurich. You know the city in Switzerland. Zurich.
Yeah, Zurich. Yeah.
Zurich.
In Switzerland.
For this newspaper, the big one, and that. He also wrote music critics.
Wow.
Made good money with it. And then we came to this slowly. We were kind of young. When we met, we were, I don't know, 22 or so, 21. No, 22, 23. I don't know. He was a year older than me. So, yeah. Or 1.5 years or so, he was a little older. Yeah.
I think how you I think Popol Vuh, in many ways, people describe like world music, like not only from one country, but one color, one race. So I don't know if you feel the same, or how can you describe
Yeah, in a way it was.
Popol Vuh music?
Sure, in a way it was kind of world music.
Yeah.
But also it had different tracks in it, like this to the classics, to the rock music,
Yeah.
and to the world music, especially the drums, and no bass, bass.
Yeah. No, but yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, Florian refused this direct bass band, electric bass band, electric bass. I don't like it so much. He made it, sometimes he made it with a piano, with a very deep keys. But usually, I think there's no recording with electric bass and Florian.
He didn't like that, right? No.
Yeah, too much. It was too much for him, for his nerves.
Really?
Yeah, in a way, I think more that. It was also this modern thing idea about drums. He put it a little bit more to the background always. The drums, it's not so much in the front, boom 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 boom, like this, you know, like other people did it here in the German electric music and things like this.
Yeah. How do you see Florian music change over time from your point of view, from the outside, you know, because it's very different from like every album is very much right.
He always, what is it, strived? Is a streben? Yeah, strive. I think he always strive to get into the classic music. But what the last thing we did in Italy, this events we made in Molfetta da Bari and in Fano, that was a kind of classical event, not rock music. I think I was with a choir, 20 people, and okay, movies and playback and projections and playing over a whole part of a city and things like this. But not modern rock music or so, or pop music. And so on the other side, we loved it, especially from the beginning, what we told about for him. When I said that we went into the modern pop music too, with Beatles and Stones and whatever came up in these times. And we couldn't miss it. We also used this for our inspiration. But the last thing always was to be a little more serious and not so money forced like the pop music went then.
Yeah.
This was kind of not our way, you know, to be too this commerciality.
How did you so since you were you were making your own movies, and at the time in the 70s, Florian didn't see maybe Frank Fiedler should be filming our session or the recording or in the studio. Is there any film for that on the studio?
There is some stuff, not very much. But from this Italian events,
Yeah.
we did 98 and 99. There we made a movie
Oh,
from this material.
is there available?
From the very first beginning, there is also some movie stuff, but it's this, you know, this format Super 8.
Yeah, the Ford Super 8, yeah.
Oh, the small film stripes.
Yeah.
Chemical film with stuff like this, you know, but nothing what you can make a big movie from. This started when a little later when we came to the video cameras. That was there was the first time was end of the 80s, beginning of the 90s. There we had the possibility to use this stuff. It was a money thing too, you know, because the chemical movie was very expensive to handle.
Really?
Yeah, big cameras. You had to develop the material at a factory. You had to rent editing tables. You have to rent a sound studio to mix the tracks together. You could have it at home, you know, like today in the computer. I mean, now I do film editing on a profi niveau that is unbeatable against this old stuff.
Absolutely, yeah. Then this album came later in 1977.
Yeah. Also when I had so heard about
Another Werner Herzog movie, yeah.
Herzog's Glass, Heart from Glass.
Yeah, Heart of Glass, right? It's called, yeah.
Off Glass, yeah.
Yeah. The soundtrack is very good, actually. I really liked it, yeah. At the time was Florian, Daniel, Matthias von Tippelskritt. He played flute.
No idea.
And then, of course, was Aloy Gromer. He was playing the guitar.
Yeah, he's just oboe.
Yeah.
It's a very good oboe. He played it at the Symphonia Orchestra here in Munich, I think.
Yeah.
He hired sometimes. They were kind of also friends. But this time I also was on the other side of the earth.
Yeah.
What do I mean symbolically?
Yeah.
What I mean
symbolically, you were
making movie stuff.
Yeah. Werner Herzog and Florian Fricke, they at the beginning they got along very well, but then eventually they start fighting, and they diverge.
Yeah, they divided in a way. You like life is, huh? You work together for a while and then the time is over. I think Herzog had other intentions. He went to Hollywood and made also stuff for producers and so. And his first films he produced by himself.
Yeah.
And with his brother together. And the famous movies of him. And what he did in Hollywood, nobody knows it. No. Here in Germany. Maybe in the United States, there are more people who know it. He played a role, and he's this kind of the science sci-fi sci-fi movie last year, 2 years ago or so. He played an old fascistic imperator type or something like this, but I never really looked at it.
Yeah, he was,
not interesting enough for me.
Yeah, the old stuff it was very good, obviously. Yeah, right. And then he went to Hollywood.
Yeah. And maybe that one of the points that they that came in Vienna's division. They just they went different ways and with music and movie making and things like this.
Yeah, sometimes it's,
but they had there was no fight or so, you know.
Yeah, no, yeah. Then we are talking now about 1978. Nosferatu.
Yeah.
This is this obviously is a masterpiece.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Oh yeah. This is with this Danny guitar.
Yeah.
Many riffs of Danny and things like this. Yeah, there are some good parts in it. I'm not so with the movie music. Okay, I really liked, and Cobra Verde I really liked too. But this stuff, okay, the guitar of Danny is very great, for really internationally great, but
yeah, it was
not so my thing.
Yeah, it was Florian with Danny, and then Robert Eliscu, Aloy Gromer, Ted de Jong played the tambura, and a chorus from Munich.
I don't know him.
And see, yeah, so you're absolutely right. So it's a big difference to create a Popol Vuh music versus created a film score, right? Obviously, for a movie,
big,
are very different things.
And when you do a film score, then you have to look to the pictures too, and it's not the sound itself. It's sound and pictures. Frozen time. Those running pictures, you know.
Yeah.
And then there's another emotion for the senses, everything. It's a little more complex in a way.
It's a lot more complex, yeah.
But not. Also, music can be very complex. This is another art, another entrance to art, like sculpture or painting or so, you know, the difference.
Yeah, no, yeah, of course, sir. Right, Artuse. This is later. You're involved here too.
Agape, yeah.
Agape, love.
Yeah. We did some together there at this recording, especially the mix down. I was involved in the Bavaria studio, and we made a lot of pre-recordings outside in the countryside again at Gottlieb Lehndorf's Land's site there.
Yeah.
This bishop's house.
So it's a very good album.
Yeah, this is kind of awesome, remarkable.
Yeah. We're talking about now 1983. Yeah.
It was beside this, I realized that the light is flickering in your room. That means that you have different, or in the same frequencies from the camera to the top light of the room or something like that. And for me, it's flickering. Okay. We are working on 50 hertz, and you're working on 60 hertz.
Yeah. It is.
Maybe it's coming from this. Maybe it's not in your final recording.
Yeah, no, it's a little bit. Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah. I know exactly what you're saying.
No, no, I no matter.
It doesn't matter. So what? So after what? So you were going back and forth, and then you came back to work in this album, right? And what still you have a good friendship with Florian, and you were still working together, yeah.
Yeah, it would be nice. I mean, he was from music. He was a big archive. You could say a title from mid ages or from Baroque times, and he knew it. He sat down to the piano and played it. Things like this, and I miss it in a way. I have to say, it's genius, and he had a music genius.
Still, do people in Germany, the younger people, know Popol Vuh music, know Florian Fricke?
Yes. I mean, it's always a little special, but there are some, yeah. Especially with those new editions now.
With the two boxes, right?
It came back a little bit. That younger people.
This guy and this guy, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
They need to do like a volume 3. I need to talk to Johannes to do a volume 3 because there are many.
I think in the moment, nobody is talking about it. They are very happy with it at BMG.
Yeah.
And I understand that they were very engaged, I have to say, very nice people in the reduction there, and like they worked it out, and very good quality what the sound is at the vinyls. I mean, this is special. There is no better edition from the whole Popol Vuh thing like this one. From my opinion.
Yeah, I don't know. It's
very good quality.
I see. You know, for Johannes, it's difficult because he need to get the rights back and work with BMG and then get good recording, the master tape to put a good quality to do like to create like a volume number 3, right?
That's all in my hands. The masters.
You have all the masters?
Yeah.
Wow.
Because I'm the one who is giving it out together with Johannes.
Yeah.
And he, because some people are not so good at the technology. And for me it's daily job.
Your daily job.
and so I always make the first steps when we make editions like this, and also the whole picture stuff, and for the covers, and there was a thing itself to get the covers in a state that they are like even better than the original. Today with the modern technology in Photoshop, you can make a lot of stuff, and they have a very fine quality. Especially this one from BMG, both cassettes there. There is no better editions like this one. Also, I have the originals from the beginning,
Really?
and it's not so that good.
I need to visit you in Munich.
Yeah,
to see the tape. I want to take a couple pictures for the original tape.
Yeah, what do you travel to Germany?
I do plan to go this year. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And especially I want to go to Munich to see my ancestor grave. I will send you a link.
Yeah, call me. We meet.
Yeah, we meet. This is another example called Cobra Verde.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a crazy music
1987.
too. This is a great movie and a great music.
Yeah, yeah.
This
Sometimes.
is really strong.
Yeah, it's are you a couple of years ago I bought this box, the Werner Herzog
Oh yeah,
contract.
yeah, it was in between.
Yeah, it's what I like about that one is that
There was an edition
yeah,
beginning of the century. There was 2004, so we had a complete edition at SPV,
SPV, correct.
German.
SPV, yeah.
Oh yeah, the German. He did it. Yeah, this edition Johannes did. I only delivered the raw tapes, the raw or the studio recordings.
Yeah,
And I didn't do the record itself that Johannes did. And but before we brought out, we issued 21 or so records. It was a complete work of Florian, nearly complete, without little exceptions. And this was 2004 to 6. And all the later editions are basing on this work, because there we did the complete digitizing.
Of all the Florian work?
What was it?
All the Florian work? Is like a box set? Like a box set?
Nah, I don't know. Was it a box too? I only know it as single CDs. And no vinyls. It was only a CD edition, but very fine done. Also, especially what the sound made. Also remasterings and things like this. We very carefully we restored it a little bit and made it sound a little more, but you don't hear it in that way. It may be a little wider in the transparency of the whole sound, but it's kind of very original. We was a point that we wanted, that it sounds like the old music, but has a little more transparency.
In that box, we have Fitzcarraldo.
Yeah. Yeah, Fitzcarraldo. This is great.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, when they pull the ship over the mountains and the
That's
choir
right.
the big choir is singing. Yeah. This is crazy.
I think Werner Herzog is a little crazy too.
Yeah, okay.
Like a dreamer, not crazy, a dreamer, bro.
Yeah. I don't know what it is today, but in this times.
At the time, yeah. That CD box comes with this book a little bit, and it has a lot of very good pictures.
Yeah. Those old texts. I worked a lot with it.
Yeah.
But you can imagine that we all stuck a lot of work into it to bring all the stuff together, all the pictures and things
to put all this picture. It's a lot of work.
Collection, endless collection.
Yeah.
But now it's kind of complete, and I have an eye on it.
Yeah, the other one is this is a compilation. This is a very good box as CD as well. This called Popol Vuh 70s Progressive.
Yeah, this we did later. It was I made it with Johannes together.
Yeah, 206. It's called for an
It's
SPV as well.
It's a collection of some songs, or what is it?
Yeah.
I think it's a collection. Huh? Is it piano works? I don't know.
Yeah, he you can see that on the back.
It's too bad quality. I cannot read it. So it's not sharp. It's on your face. The sharpness.
Hold on. Let me move.
I like this. Oh, it will not focus.
I will send you a picture.
Yeah, I have this record. This is the, but I have it not here close to me. I have it in my archive.
Yeah, they have the soundtrack for Aguirre, Nosferatu, Fitzcarraldo, Copa Verde, and this is very good too.
Yeah, nice record.
Yeah.
But later done at together with Guido Hieronymus started to play a role in the studio scene around Florian. He was a very good keyboarder and guitarist and drummer, also drummer, universal instrumentalist.
Yeah. Who is Anna Fricke?
That's the daughter of Florian.
Johannes and Anna are the two kids.
Yeah, two kids, but they are kind of very adult now.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Anna, meanwhile, has children and everything.
Yeah.
And Johannes is kind of he's doing kind of great events of representing modern art in Berlin, especially, but also in other bigger cities. I'm not that much on the latest state of what he is doing. Sometimes we are not working together the last 2-3 months. I mean, we are not phoning every day.
Yeah. This is City Raga.
City Raga, yeah. yeah. No good. Reminiscence.
Reminiscence
to the young people.
For the young, exactly. So what are you working nowadays, Frank? What are you doing nowadays? What you?
There's a Kailash movie.
Yeah, and then you want to put, and then still you're doing.
I really want to bring that movie to the cinema.
I got it. Perfect. Yeah.
The first thing I do is to rent a cinema here in Munich and make a kind of sneak preview. And I have other offers in Germany to make a projection with that movie.
Yeah.
But one after the other, I'm just finishing. I'm in the finishing process.
Yeah.
And I was kind of crazy alchemy to bring this old material to a new modern state that you really can project it in a cinema or something like this.
Yeah.
This is alchemy. This is a processing crazy. But I mean, I have very good programs here now and very modern Apple machine. So that this is not the problem. It's fast and it's reliable, crazy, very good sounds and things like that. It depends on those older sounds from the video cameras. Yeah. But I made a movie, a soundtrack music for it too. It's called Trans-Himalaya.
Wow.
And it's like 12 minutes or so. But it's melted into the picture, the original sounds, and I think it has a kind of little magic. The whole thing. I'm very interested to have a neutral audience, you know, to check out what the people think about things like this.
Yeah,
It's a little crazy because who knows Kailash? Who knows Tibet? Who is interested in the old Buddhistic Tibet or something like this?
yeah,
I don't know.
yeah.
But the movie is, I think, it's very special and very subtle. What you can see and learn about the people, because this kind of camera, it was the first time that you could use it in a way that the people forgot that you have a camera, and they are very free, especially those people that we did at the highlands of Tibet. You know, it's no civilization. I mean, except inside of the people, they have a special civilization. But outside, it's Stone Age, you know.
Mm.
In this time, at 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the Chinese people have brought the modern world to Tibet.
To that, yeah.
Like tools and bridges and cars and phones.
Mm.
And TV.
It's very different. Yeah.
Yeah, it started at that time. There was in this little town below of the Kailash. There's a little town where the pilgrims come and gather, and there's kind of hotel business and things like that. And there was a tent with a TV, a little generator on the background, and TV, Chinese TV. They also had it for 94. But crazy when you see those pictures, you think that cannot be true.
Yeah. Well, hopefully I will be able
funny
to.
Too, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. Hopefully that project will work out, and then you can, present in the cinema and do.
I think
well.
by time you also will come to have the possibility to have a look on it.
Yeah.
But it needs a little time to spread out and bring it to the people. Just, like I said, I'm just finishing it. It needs time.
Yeah. When do you think it's going to be available in the cinema? Like a couple months, by the summer?
2 months or so. I don't know what really is happening with it finally. I tried to bring it to some higher graded people in the media.
Yeah.
Who I know, and I don't know what they think about things like this. But I could imagine that the Popol Vuh expedition, Kailash, that brings some people, especially for TV, Arte or TV like this, bring them to me and buy it from me or so. When they pay the price, otherwise they don't get it.
Of course. Yeah, they need to be the right price,
No, the measured price,
yeah,
fine measured price.
yeah, absolutely. Hey, Frank, was very nice talking to you.
I hope you can use it.
Yeah, I will upload it to the channel, the radio, and I will send you a link for you as well.
Oh yeah, right. I think that we're also at YouTube you have this.
You on YouTube as well.
And do you make some editings to it?
No, I like raw, like this.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Because because this is the real world.
Nothing to hide. Huh?
Nothing to hide, Conrad. And feel free to send the link to Johannes.
Yeah.
And then put me in touch, because definitely I would like to talk to him as well.
I sent you this email from Johannes.
And email, and then
I think he can, when he want, I don't know what he's thinking. When he want, he also can do other connections for you, maybe. I don't know exactly.
Yeah. But feel free to send in the link, because he's it's a good.
Yeah, and then this,
yeah, and then I will send you the link tonight, and then I will see you in in Munich very soon. This year for sure.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you. We'll go to dinner.
Yeah, right.
I will invite you to dinner, and I would like to see the tapes.
yeah, right.
Thank you.
We'll make a meeting, a little media meeting.
A media meeting, yeah, correct. Yeah, but it was very nice talking to you, Frank. Good luck to you. We'll exchange.
Yeah, have a good time.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Frank.
See you later.